Welcome to the Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina Kaur. Our intention is to inspire, awaken and create global leaders using the Sexy Brilliant philosophy. Discover sacred wisdom and the benefits of self-leadership with your host, author of Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, and founder of Sexy Brilliant Global Revolution, Devina Kaur.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina Kaur. And I'm so honored that you guys are here today. Please let me know where you are joining us from and what time is it where you are. I am in Montreal, Canada, and it's about 10:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. And today I'm wearing yellow because, as you know, Wednesday is the color for yellow. And I will do another post for that. So today, joining me from India all the way from India is Kiran Verma. Kiran Verma, maybe we'll talk in Hindi. If you want to see Hindi में करें तो हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन please हमें बताना कि हिंदी, English, Punjabi, Urdu, which language you prefer, okay? And today
I'm okay with everything. I don't
okay with everything?
Yeah.
So guys, today we have Kiran Verma all the way from India, New Delhi actually. Kiran, what time is it then?
It's 8 o'clock right now. 8 in the evening.
8 o'clock in the evening. Wow, thank you. And Kiran has this amazing story where, amazing and also sad story because Kiran's mother passed away when he was about 7 years old, right, Kiran? Out of cancer. She had cancer. And then because of that, Kiran has gone through a lot of trauma, a lot of pain. And then, you know, when we talk about this all the time, right? Like, it's through our darkness that our most growth happens. So Kiran ended up failing high school and getting very mediocre jobs. And he talks about all of this. And today we're going to share that. And then later on, he ended up starting a foundation called Change with One Foundation, and where they are providing meals, Change with One Meal. And then, of course, the Simply Blood work that they're doing, which is donating blood, collecting of blood donations. And Kiran, I'm so grateful that you are here today. Thank you so much for coming on the Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina Kaur. I want you to please tell us a little bit about your story and what made you start this social enterprise, Change with One Foundation, and we know what is your mission. So thank you so much for coming on.
So first of all, before starting about my journey, I want you to say that, I've been admiring your work since so many years. I've been following you just because of one single reason that, you are what you are. I mean, you don't want it to manipulate yourself, what other people, consider a taboo or talking about, being fatty is being, considered so weird in it. So now coming back to my story, I'm also a kind of fat kind of guy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for those lovely, kind words. I appreciate it. And I know there are so many people here who are listening as well. So we all appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
Yeah. So I came from a background where, I grew up in a lower middle class family where I lost my mother due to cancer, and then later on I found myself isolated within my own house. The family was in my family I was left alone after my mother because she was my world and then I was her world by the time we were together. And then I got to know that what is the importance of losing, how important people are in your life. When I grew up around 16, 17, when you have a step parent, right? People don't, when you have real parents, people think that, if they are beating you up. So it's happening because they are trying to improve you. But when step parents do the same thing, people consider it the other way around, that they are not doing justice with you. They are just torturing you, or maybe they are just abusing you. So that was the thing which actually kept piling on in my head. And when I was 17, I left my home after failing out in 11th class. uh, After after leaving my home, uh, I started selling posters on roadside. During that time, I got to meet one gentleman who actually gave me wisdom about life and taught me a lot about how to write and how to write for newspapers and other things. And that's when I got to learn about more about the world, because I started reading more and more books. I couldn't pursue further education, but yes, I find myself a highly educated kind of person with very less qualification, and that's something I think that that is more important than having a high qualification. So, and when I got to know that my own blood was sold in a black market, so that was a turning point, and I started Simply Blood, and that's when I got into non-profit. It was never intended, but it was just an accident, and I'm happy with that. Happy with
What
that.
does, Tamara, your work is about change with one meal. I want to know about it. Did this start during the pandemic? Sorry, the
Yeah.
pandemic, I mean the pandemic, or did it start before? What is change with one meal all about? I want to know so much about that.
Yeah. So before that, I just wanted to narrate the background of our non-profit, which is called Change with One Foundation. So Change with One Foundation came with a term because I was not able to get Simply Blood registered as a legal entity in India, because it was coming as a generic term in their system. So I came up with a new term called change with one, because a person can donate 1 unit of blood at a time, and the person can take only 1 unit of blood at a time. So it's always 1 unit which is actually bringing change into someone's life. So that is when I named our foundation Change with One. I never had any idea that I would be venturing into anything apart from blood donation. But during the lockdown, during the pandemic, I, I, I actually got to meet my house support, uh, who was not able to get ration for her family. And when I went there, so there were so many people who just came around me, and then they thought that he's the person who's helping out poor people, and they started asking me for food or something else. It was a very small community of slums, so there were 3,000 people in that slum. So they started asking me food, and it was one day before the lockdown happened, 23rd of March in India. And today, luckily, I mean, we are celebrating completely 1 year of lockdown in India. So Change with One Mill is officially today 1 year old today. So we are
Wow.
I, yeah, so that's a wonderful day. I never thought that it was going to be this one. So I just collected few funds from my friends and family, and with around 12 13,000, I fed around 2,000 people that day.
Wow.
Yeah. And next day, I started getting calls from the same locality that, are you going to come and feed us? So I thought that, I need to be serious about it, because people are very desperate to get help. And there are genuinely so many people who actually need a supporting hand. So that day, I decided that I'm going to start serving people in terms of food, cooked food. I would say. and that's when I named it Change with One Meal. That what we can change with only one meal. The interesting part was that the cooks we hired for that, to prepare the food, they lost their jobs because of the pandemic. The people who were serving the food, they also got jobless, and then they got jobs because of that. And the people who were getting food, they also lost their job and facing unemployment because of the pandemic. So with that one single meal, there are three different categories of people we were helping out. And people who were sitting at home, they were just supporting us financially because they were not able to physically come, they were not able to go out and help us, but still they were making a change in someone's life by adding 1 rupee at a time. So that was the whole philosophy. And so far we have fed more than 225 lakhs people, 2.25 lakh people, more than 2 lakh people, if I say,
Wow.
in
So,
1 year.
so
Yeah.
your foundation is providing meals, warm meals to people who are living in slums, and you've been doing this for 1 year since the start of the shutdown. So, Kiran, I want to ask you, what was your motivation to start this? Like not just change with one meal, not just simply blood, but what happened in your life that said, you know what, I want to make a difference and I want to quit my job and I'm going to do something to make the world a better place?
So there were actually three incidents actually, which so starting from the first one, I lost my mom. It's not the first one, but it was the reason behind it. I got to know that what is the importance of life. I was 18. I was pursuing diploma, which I failed in again. So during that time, I got to realize that I'm not going to score a good marks. So I thought that, why don't I donate blood to a teacher? I mean, he was fighting with some kidney problem. He used to go to dialysis every now and then. I thought that, by donating blood, I can earn some brownie points, and then I can get some internal marks, or I can get pass. At least, through this, I can get some sort of support to get some marks. But it was my mistake. But one thing was what actually worked out here, when I went there donating, and donated blood to him. After coming out from the blood bank, I got to meet his son, and he hugged me, and he said very emotionally that, thank you so much. That was the turning point. And I actually, for an instance, I thought that yes, I'm facing the same sort of emotions like my father would have, you know, gone through when he was into a situation saving my mother. So I I was not sure that my blood would save the teacher or not, but I was quite sure that it has given some sort of glimpse of hope to their family, and that is something which gave me a very good kick. And then I thought that this is something I can keep going, and keep donating blood for next. By the time I'm healthy, and so far I have donated blood 44 times. The second incident when it happened was in December 2016. So I used to donate blood on my birthday. That is 27 December. It was 26 December 2016 when I got to know from an unknown number that there's a poor family from Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and it's a very small rural area in India from where these couple actually came to get some sort of treatment for the cancer in Delhi. So somebody called me that there is a poor family in Delhi, and they are looking for some sort of blood support. Would you be able to arrange blood, or maybe you can donate blood? I said, okay, I can try. And because it was my birthday next day, and I was supposed to donate blood on that day, so I thought that let's do it today. Why to wait another day? And I went there, donated blood, and after donating blood, I handed over the donor card to the person who called me. And when I out of curiosity, when I went to meet the family, I introduced myself as a blood donor to the patient. So the wife of the patient told me that, भैया, why you, I mean, in Hindi, she said, भैया आप यहाँ क्यों आए हो? हमने तो पैसे दे दिए हैं. Why you have came here, and we have given money to you. So I was shocked that how it can be happen, because I donated blood for free. And when I went downstairs to complain, I called that person again and again. And initially, he was not answering my call. And later on, he switched off his phone. And, when I went to, you know, file a complaint against him, there was no ground on which we can held him culprit, because uh, I donated blood to the person who actually needed it.
Mm-hmm.
The blood was given to the same family. The money was given, handed over to that guy in cash. So there was no proof of, the
Mm-hmm.
transaction or anything. So that was the thing. I went back again upstairs and got to meet that lady. She was not there. She took her husband downstairs for some treatment and all. And meanwhile, I was chit chatting to another person who was attending their patient since few months, and they were sharing the same ward. So she told me that this lady who actually paid for my blood, she got into prostitution to pay the bills for her husband, and that was the you know turning point for me,
That's an
because
eye-opening statement that, you're so desperate to save somebody's life. You don't have money. What do? You sell your body. Right, Kiran? This is the reality that so many of us face, not just women, but also men. We have to sell our souls to provide for us financially.
and that was so moving actually. I couldn't It was very difficult to digest that situation, because you see, uh, we collectively, we as a society, we force someone to get into a situation where nobody even think of going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so that was the time when I thought that this is not done, this cannot happen with anyone, right? uh, and we as a society are failing ourselves in front of these kind of people who actually don't have resources, don't have support, uh, you know, um, from all across. So I thought that this should be stopped, and that's when I called my wife. I was in tears. She told me that, either stop crying, or find out a solution, because there is no point of crying. And that day, I called my boss. I resigned from my position, and that's when I started Simply Blood. So that was the start of this journey. And third incident, when in October 2020, one of my childhood friends, with whom I have met almost 11 years. The last time I met more than 11, 12 years ago. So when I got a call from him after 8, 9 years since we chatted over the phone. So he called me for few rupees. I mean, I'm talking about less than $1, right? So he called me
Wow.
for, yeah. So he called me for this small amount, and I initially thought that he must be doing drugs, or got into something shitty kind of things. So I sent across one of our common friends uh, to his place, and when he went there and he saw the miserable condition he was going through, so he he almost broke down while telling about him. He told me that he's in a bad condition, and because of the lockdown he lost his job, and many things. So that was a turning point, and I thought that there would be millions of people who might be going through the same situation, and then giving food for free is something which we can do easily, but giving food with dignity and love is more important, which actually needs to be done. And and uh, you know I, I thought that we need to put a price tag onto it so that they can come with uh, pride and then self-respect, and come and pay that 10 rupees and then eat whatever they wanted to. So it's an unlimited meal. Anybody can have any number of refills without wasting the food, and you are free to eat as much as you can at just 1 rupee, 10 rupees, and that's what we do.
So, Kiran, I mean, these are such three turning points in your life. Of course, starting with the darkest of all of them, the death of your own mother through cancer. But, you're doing such good job providing for society. We as a society have so much access to universal abundance, but we don't have the heart to share our resources with people. And, to everybody who's watching this on replay, watching this on live, I want to say this: the system is designed in such a way that we get caught up in this 9 to 5 job, 9 to 9 job. We get caught up in this Netflix reality where we forget that there are other things outside that need our equal attention. It all starts with coming back to who you are. And here is an example of somebody called Kiran Verma, all the way in India, living his purpose. And like Kiran said, he started this accidentally. He didn't know what he was doing. And then look where he is today. So I want to say thank you to Kiran for sharing his story. But Kiran, last question. Where are you getting the funding to run Change with One Foundation, and especially to provide the meals that you're providing everybody?
Honestly speaking, there are thousands and thousands of people who have been supporting us throughout this journey. I wouldn't say uh, that I have done something good. It's all because people like you, people from all across the world, they came forward and they have been supporting me immensely. I the gratitude I cannot express in terms of words, or I cannot express in terms of, because with their support, I could make my life meaningful. It's people. There are so many thousands of people who are supporting us. No government, no political, no religious community is there who is supporting us. It's all individuals, no corporates. There are only selective corporates we are working with, very selective, and it's hardly two, three corporates. Most of the, I mean, our largest and our biggest success is that we are working with people to help people. We are not working with bodies to help other people. So that is one fine thing, and I really feel proud that there are so many people we could move along with us, and they are with us to support us in our journey.
Wow, Kiran, amazing. And, guys, if you want to donate to the Change One Foundation, there are going to be show notes that I'm going to be adding. So please make sure that you open your heart and give whatever you can, whether it's $1, whether it's $1,000. No money is too little, And of course, people like Kiran who are just sharing the light with Change with One Meal. I can't believe this. I've seen the growth of your social enterprise, Kiran. So congratulations to you for this initiative. I'm looking forward to much more from you and your success in giving back, because it's all about service to others. And when we have service to others, guess what happens? Our energetic vibration goes up. And when our energetic vibration goes up, you know what? We are then, of course, closer to God. We are closer to ourself in connection. And also, this is another way of cleaning out our own karma, and it's a continuous journey, right, Kiran?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, guys, check out Kiran's foundation, Change with One Foundation. And before we end the show, we're going to we're gonna go into the Sexy Brilliant Empowerment cards and see what messages we have for today. This is what it looks like, the Sexy Brilliant. We are a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame and raise human consciousness. And of course, I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. So let's see, Kiran, what messages we have. All these cards are jumping out. They want to come and they want to talk to us.
Okay, stop.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it says, enjoy a sexy life. It says, smile, laugh, and when we smile, others smile too. So when we give back, others give back too. When we look happy, we feel sexy and happy. And our sexy, brilliant lives, our sexy, brilliant smiles and laughter are contagious. Our happiness radiates outward from us, including others in the rings of warmth. So it's on point where it says, when you live your purpose,
Very apt.
when you live authentically, guess what happens? People around you start living authentically. So Kiran, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words before we close the show?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that just be kind to others and help anyone in need. Everybody is going to die, including you and me, right? Just earn people rather than earning money. If you earn people, that's going to be your biggest asset or biggest earning of your life. People say that, you cannot take anything after your death. I'm going to take people from my home to my, funeral. That's going to be my journey. I mean, my earning.
I love it, Kiran. What a beautiful message. Thank you so much. And to those of you who may not know this, I am the author of a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. It's a spiritual self-help workbook. So please make sure you check it out. And of course, to those of you who have read my book, can you please leave me a review for my book? That would be really appreciated.
I'm definitely going to do an announcement for that. For sure.
Yay! Thank you, Kiran. And of course, the book
Shout
is
out.
available internationally. Go ahead, Kiran.
Yeah. I'll do that. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, guys. And once again, we appreciate all the shares, all the comments, the likes, tag your friends, pay it forward, and connect with Kiran. And of course, once again, thank you so much for joining us on Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina Kaur. Namaste. Stay here. Wow, what an honor. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur. We value your time immensely and appreciate your shares, comments, and feedback. Devina Kaur is the best-selling author of Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, a spiritual self-help workbook. Your purchases and donations support the Sexy Brilliant Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to removing toxic shame. Please discover our fantastic behind-the-scenes content on sexybrilliant.org.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Namaste. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.